If you talk to yourself like this for just 3 days, your entire life would shift. I'm not saying that to hype you up. I'm saying that because truth, when applied with discipline, produces transformation. We live in a world where people are fluent in doubt but stutter in belief. They've rehearsed failure so long, success feels like a foreign language. But let me tell you something. Your life will never rise higher than the conversations you're having with yourself when no one else is listening. Because your words, they're not just sounds. They are spiritual containers. And whatever you put in them, you're going to live out. Some of you are trying to change your life with strategy, but still speak to yourself like a victim. Strategy without identity is sabotage. You keep calling yourself broke, stuck, tired, confused, and then wonder why those labels keep showing up in your life. It's because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe. And what you believe comes out of your mouth. So for just 3 days, talk to yourself like the person you were created to be. I'm not talking about lying, I'm talking about prophesying. You've been describing your problems. Now it's time to declare your promises. You've been speaking from your situation. Now speak from your position. You are not what you've been through. You are what you've been called to. When you wake up, speak life. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. I'm wise. I walk in purpose. I operate in peace. I don't chase. I attract. The right people and the right resources are looking for me right now. Don't wait until it's real to say it. Say it until it becomes real. Because words create and faith is activated by sound. For 3 days, refuse to say anything negative about yourself, not even in a joke. Don't speak defeat. Don't speak doubt. Don't even casually say, I'm tired, or I'm broke, or I'm trying. You are not trying. You are transforming. You are not waiting. You are walking. Every time you speak life, you are tilling the soil of your destiny. You might not see the change on day 1. You might not feel different on day 2, but by day 3, something begins to shift, not just around you, but in you. You start to believe it, and when you believe it, you become it. Your voice is your vehicle. Talk to yourself like you're already where you want to be, and watch your life rise to meet your words. Just 3 days. That's all it takes to start. Talk to yourself like this, and you won't recognize yourself by the end of it. Words shape worlds. That's not a slogan, that's a spiritual law. Before there was light, before there was land, before there was life, there were words. Everything you see was spoken before it was seen. The universe wasn't built with bricks. It was built with breath. And you, made in the image of the Creator, were given that same power. You don't just speak language, you create with it. Your mouth is a production studio. Your tongue is the director. And your words are the script. Every time you speak, you're either constructing a future or canceling one. You're either building a platform for purpose or a prison of limitation. People think their circumstances shape them. No, it's their sentences. The words you repeat to yourself become the instructions your mind follows. If you keep saying, I can't, don't be surprised when your potential never gets permission to move. If you keep saying, nothing ever works out for me, your life will find a way to fulfill that prophecy. Not because it's true, but because you keep affirming it as truth. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you speak to. If you want to change your world, start with your words. Stop describing what is and start declaring what will be. Your words should serve your vision, not your victimhood. Stop talking about how hard it is. Start talking about how worthy you are. Stop rehearsing the rejection. Start declaring your direction. And don't just speak it once. Speak it until your faith catches up, until your feelings follow, until your life lines up. Because words aren't magic, but they are magnetic. They draw what you say closer to your reality. You speak it before you see it. Not because you're lying, but because you're leading. Your mouth is not a mirror, it's a paintbrush. Don't just reflect your environment, create a new one. The most powerful thing you can do today isn't hustle harder, it's speak better. Because words don't just shape what's next, they shape who you become. Speak wisely, speak boldly, speak intentionally. Because your words don't just echo, they build. Identity before activity. That means who you are comes before what you do. The world will try to reverse that. It'll tell you to hustle first, grind harder, stack achievements, and maybe then you'll be enough. But let me tell you the truth. If you don't know who you are, nothing you do will ever be enough. You don't become valuable when you perform. You are valuable because you were created with purpose, on purpose. You are formed with greatness already in your DNA. But most people are living backward, trying to build confidence through action instead of building action on the foundation of identity. And that's why they burn out. That's why they hustle and grind and achieve and still feel empty. Because activity without identity is a treadmill, not a transformation. Think about this. A lion doesn't chase mice, not because he can't catch them, but because it's beneath his nature. It's not about ability, it's about identity. When you know who you are, you stop entertaining distractions, you stop negotiating your value, you stop performing for acceptance and start moving from authority. When you wake up in the morning, don't start your day by checking your to-do list. Start by reminding yourself of your identity. I am chosen. I am equipped. I am powerful. I am the head and not the tail. I am the solution to somebody's problem today. Because activity that flows from that level of belief hits different. It's not forced, it's aligned. You're not striving, you're executing from overflow. Most people chase purpose through performance, but you don't earn purpose, you awaken to it. And that awakening starts when you stop trying to become and start remembering who you already are. Because once identity is settled, activity becomes effortless. You move with intention, you act with clarity, you execute with confidence, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you know your position for something greater. So before you get busy, get grounded. Before you build the thing, become the person. Speak to your identity daily, boldly, consistently, and watch how your activity starts to align with the level of your calling. Speak in seed form, not in circumstance. That means stop using your words to describe what you see. Start using them to declare what you sow. Your current situation is soil. Your words are the seed. And too many people keep planting weeds with their mouth, then praying for a harvest of blessings. It doesn't work like that. You have to speak from your vision, not your vantage point. Because circumstances change. They lie, they deceive. Circumstances say you're broke. Circumstances say you're stuck. Circumstances say you're unqualified. But if you let that be the vocabulary you speak, you give power to a temporary condition and let it shape a permanent reality. You've got to start speaking what you want even when it looks like the opposite. That's not denial, that's dominion. Farmers don't plant based on what they see in the field today. They plant based on what they want to see in the season to come. They don't look at empty soil and say, well, nothing's growing, so I guess I'll just wait and see. No. They get out the seed, they plant with expectation, and they speak with certainty about what's coming. Your words have to do the same. Stop saying, I'm not ready, and start saying, I'm being prepared. Stop saying, I never catch a break, and start saying, I'm walking into divine favor. Stop saying, I don't know how, and start saying, wisdom is flowing to me daily. That's seed talk. That's faith talk. That's how you shift from survival to strategy. And don't get discouraged when the seed doesn't sprout overnight. The seed is working even when it's buried. It's growing under the surface. Your job is not to worry about the speed. Your job is to stay consistent with the seed. Speak it, water it, protect it from the weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity. Keep speaking harvest even when you only see dirt. People who walk in power don't speak from circumstance, they speak from covenant. They know that words aren't commentary, they are commands. So when you speak, speak with authority, speak with vision, speak with intentionality, because every word you release is planting something, and you always harvest in the same form you plant. So the question is, are you planting problems or promises, complaints or calling? Speak in seed form and watch your future bloom. Talk from the end, not the middle. Most people are narrating their life like they're stuck in the struggle, not realizing they were never meant to stay there. They keep speaking from the middle of the mess instead of the victory that's already written. But listen, the power is in your perspective. The middle might feel real, but the end is final. And if you want to walk in victory, you've got to talk like you've already arrived, not like you're still trying to survive. The middle is where doubt lives. It's where confusion creeps in. It's where people start second-guessing their path, their purpose, their progress. But you were never called to speak from the storm. You were called to speak through it. The end is already secured. The promise is already made. And your words need to sound like someone who believes that. When you talk from the end, you don't say, I hope I make it. You say it's already done. You don't say, I'm just trying to figure it out. You say, I have clarity, wisdom, and divine strategy. You don't say, maybe one day I'll be successful. You say, I'm already walking in my assignment. And every day it's unfolding exactly as it should. You've got to rehearse the result, not the resistance, because the middle will lie to you. It'll magnify the pain and minimize the promise. But when you talk from the end, you speak as if the door is already open, as if the resources are already on their way, as if the version of you're becoming is already here and you're just catching up to it. This is how visionaries move. They speak from completion, not confusion. They don't wait until it's manifested to speak it. They speak it until it manifests. And when people look at them crazy and say, who do you think you are? They don't shrink. They say, I know exactly who I am. I'm just talking from the end while you're still stuck in the middle. Talking from the end isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It means your words match the outcome, not the obstacle. It means you're calling things that be not as though they were, because that's how the future responds. Not to fear, not to doubt, but to faith. So stop narrating the middle like it's the final chapter. The middle is just the setup. Speak from the victory. Speak from the vision. Speak from the end, and your life will start catching up to your words. Affirmation is activation. This isn't about cute quotes or empty hype. This is about spiritual law, about kingdom principles, about understanding the creative power you've been walking around with and either using it to build or letting it sit dormant. When you speak an affirmation, you're not just making a statement. You're flipping a switch in the spirit and in your subconscious. You're turning potential into power. You're moving from intention to ignition. Most people don't fail because they don't have the ability. They fail because they never activate it. They sit on the runway of life with wings but never take off. Why? Because their words keep them grounded. You can't fly speaking failure. You can't move speaking maybe. You have to speak what's already in you until it comes alive. Affirmation isn't just about confidence. It's about alignment. When you affirm who you are, you're syncing your speech with your source. You're saying, I agree with heaven about who I am. You're saying, I co-sign my calling. You're saying, I'm not asking for permission. I'm stepping into position. And here's the truth. Heaven responds to faith-filled language. Affirmation is not passive. It's active. It's the sound that attracts solutions. It's the signal that tells your mind, your spirit, your environment, anointed and advancing. These aren't just phrases. They're keys. And every time you speak them, you unlock something in your atmosphere and in yourself. So no, affirmation isn't fluff. It's fire. It's a weapon. It's strategy. It's how you stir the gift. It's how you wake up your next level. Because the moment you speak it, you don't just believe it more. You become it more. Affirmation is activation. So open your mouth, speak on purpose, and flip the switch. 3 days. That's it, just 3 days of speaking faith, and you can start to undo years, maybe decades, of limitation, lack, and low-level living. I'm not saying your whole life will change in 3 days. I'm saying that you will. And when you change, your life has to follow. Because your words are not just sounds, they're systems. You've been speaking in cycles, and you've been living in those same cycles. Words like, I always mess this up. Nothing ever works out for me. I don't have what it takes. Those phrases become chains. You've been locked up by your own language. But when you speak faith, you don't just break the cycle, you rewrite the system. 3 days of faithful speech is more than a challenge. It's a reset. It's a spiritual detox. It's a divine interruption to the default settings you've been living with. You might have grown up hearing you're not enough. You might have failed and started believing it meant you weren't called. But the truth is that was never your final word. And when you start speaking what heaven says about you, you start dissolving what hell tried to place on you. Try it. For 3 days, don't let anything come out of your mouth that doesn't agree with your future. Not one word of fear, not one sentence of shame, not one joke that tears yourself down. Just speak faith, speak identity, speak destiny. You'll feel awkward at first, maybe even fake, but that's just because you've been fluent in limitation for too long. This is a new language now. And just like any language, the more you speak it, the more natural it becomes. And you'll notice something. On day 1, your mind will resist. On day 2, it'll start to listen. By day 3, it'll begin to believe. And once belief shifts, everything else gets in line. Your confidence changes, your energy changes, your decisions change. You'll start walking like you're already there. You'll start attracting what matches your identity, not your insecurity. And what if that one shift, that 3-day decision to speak with faith, intention, and authority becomes the catalyst for your breakthrough? What if everything that's been delayed starts moving because your words finally agree with your assignment? 3 days. That's all it takes to shake the foundation of limitation and start building something new. Because when you change your words, you change your world. And when you speak life with boldness, heaven echoes back, let there be. So now you know. This isn't just motivation, this is activation. For 3 days, you've been invited to interrupt every pattern of small thinking, every sentence that's kept you stuck, every casual word that's carried the weight of limitation. You've been given the keys, not to fake it, but to faith it, to talk like someone who's already won, to speak like your future depends on it, because it does. You're not waiting for breakthrough, you're speaking it. You're not hoping for transformation, you're declaring it. Identity before activity. Speak in seed form. Talk from the end. Affirmation is activation. And your voice, your words are the starting point of everything. You don't need a year. You don't need a full plan. You just need 3 days of discipline. 3 days of talking to yourself like God talks about you, like your destiny is already here, like your past has no more permission, like your next level is waiting on your language to catch up. So take the challenge. Speak like you mean it. Speak like it's already done. And don't stop at 3 days. Because once you taste the power of aligned, intentional, faithful speech, you'll never go back to casual words again. Change your language and your life will follow. Your mouth is the pen, your words are the ink, and your future is still being written. So speak wisely, speak boldly, and speak on purpose. Because the world you want is waiting on the words you say.